Hi everyone, welcome to Possessed Guardians. My name is Laura, and if you haven't watched my videos before, this is just my journey into the paranormal world, specifically haunted objects and dolls. I have two possessed dolls, so I have the lovely Martha here and I have Alice who is in the background. I'm just trying to get her used to being on camera without directly being in front of you guys. I don't know how it will be, and I'm not sure, but I've got her in the background, but let's try not to focus too much on her. I don't want to make her feel too uncomfortable. If you've not watched our videos before, I do recommend just giving them a watch, just so you get a bit of an idea about our story and who we are. So I thought I would talk to you a little bit about sleep paralysis. I have talked about it in a previous video when I was explaining about some of the potential paranormal events that have happened in my life. So I am a sufferer of sleep paralysis, and I get it quite frequently, and it's just almost become part of my day-to-day life, really. Now, if you don't know what sleep paralysis is, so it really does depend on your viewpoint and where your belief system lies as to what you believe sleep paralysis is. So I choose to believe the scientific version theory just because it is more comforting to me, and when I discuss more about some of the experiences that I have specifically had, you'll probably understand why I choose to go that way. So the scientific theory, belief, truth, fact, whatever, is that sleep paralysis is when you enter a certain stage of your sleep. It's your body's way of not acting out the dreams that you're having. So sleepwalkers are almost the opposite to me. So they will act out, they'll walk, obviously, get themselves into all sorts of tricky situations. Mine is the opposite. So you can either get it when you are just falling asleep or when you wake up. Now, I get it when I wake up. I've never had it falling to sleep. I get it when I am waking up from a sleep. And I've woken up. I can see the room in all its entirety. No matter where I am, I will see the room, and I will be paralyzed. I won't be able to move, and I will generally hallucinate as well. And it can be quite terrifying. It can be quite unnerving, unsettling, uncomfortable. It's not the nicest experience, and I am gonna tell you a few more because I've told you some already. I will tell you the experiences that I've had, not all of them because there's just too many to list. But yeah, the non-scientific theories behind sleep paralysis are that it is a visit from the spirit world, and that it's ghosts, demons, all sorts of kind of things. So a little bit of history behind sleep paralysis. So if anyone ever starts a paranormal story with, I was asleep, I woke up and I couldn't move, generally I would actually probably say almost certainly that it is sleep paralysis. And whether you choose to believe that is then a paranormal experience, or whether you would choose to believe that it's a hallucination, is up to you. alien abductions, alien in my room, demon in my room, spirits, the old hag, the list goes on. Yeah, again, it's up to you what you choose to believe. I believe they're hallucinations. I do find it quite interesting though that a lot of the people who do suffer from it tend to get the same hallucination at one time or another, and it's an old hag that is either on your chest, so she's there, you feel like you can't really breathe properly, and you feel the weight of her, and she's there, or she's in the corner of the room. I've never actually had the old hag, so kind of grateful, but when I then explain to you some of the things I have seen, maybe not so grateful. Yeah, so it's quite an interesting sleep phenomenon. So I do have a lot of issues with sleep. I don't sleep well. I'm a very light sleeper. I fidget quite a lot. I get night terrors and I get sleep paralysis. So my sleep paralysis, I distinctly remember my first ever experience, and I would say I was about, I think, 18, and I remember that I had been asleep and I was lying on my back. And now sleep paralysis does tend to happen a lot more when you're lying on your back. I'm sure there's a reason for it, but I can't remember off the top of my head. So I was lying on my back. I had my arms just above my head. I was asleep, and I woke up and I couldn't move my arms, and I felt, luckily, that very first time did not hallucinate, but I felt like there was a weight on my chest. I felt that someone holding my arms down, and for the life of me, I couldn't move, and it felt like it was forever. It probably wasn't. I couldn't tell you how long it was, but eventually I was able to move, and I was sufficiently creeped out. And I then did obviously Google and try and find out what it was. And that was my first ever experience. And I am actually incredibly grateful that I didn't hallucinate, because the hallucinations are insane. So some of the things that I have seen. So I'm trying to find ones. I don't know where I'm searching in my brain. I'm trying to think of examples that are not too graphic or super freaky for you. So I'll start with one that actually is sort of funny, but actually it messed me up for probably about 2 weeks. I couldn't sleep very well after this for 2 weeks, and I don't really know why, because it is not anywhere near the worst experience that I had had. So I had woken up, and I can generally almost sort of feel it coming, and I was obviously lying in my bed, paralysed, couldn't move, and I had the alien from Signs. I don't know if you've seen that film, but they're quite big aliens in my room in Y-fronts. No idea why he was wearing pants, because from the film I don't think they actually had any sort of anatomy that needed covering. But yeah, so he could have been a she, who knows? They were wearing pants. Was in my bedroom and obviously trying to get me. Yeah, for some reason that really messed me up, and I don't really know why, because it is not even one of the scariest experiences that I've had. But yeah, it was I think it was the Y fronts. It was just the Y fronts really threw me. Like, why is an alien wearing pants? But yeah, so you're fully aware in your head. The easiest way to explain, like, I am aware of where I am. I can see my room. I can hear any sort of noises that are happening, but I am hallucinating and I cannot move. So when I do have sleep paralysis, the most important thing I do, and if you ever do experience it, is just try and stay calm. And I just focus on trying to just move like a little finger, just trying to get that finger to move, because once that finger moves, the rest of your body will follow. And the best piece of advice I can give you is as soon as you can move is get up, walk around the bedroom, your home, whatever, and then go back to sleep. The worst thing I do is I'm super lazy sometimes, and because I get it so often and it doesn't scare me anymore, is that I will just fall straight back to sleep, and then I will get sleep paralysis again. Fall back to sleep, get it again, get it again, get it again, and I can get it 4, 5, 6 times in a row because I'm too lazy to get out of bed. And then I'm like, this is exhausting, I need to get up, I need to move, and then I'll go back to sleep and I'm fine. So most people actually have experienced sleep paralysis at one time or another in their life. When you're a child, you tend to experience it. Some people have outer body experiences, and they're like, yes, I got to fly around my room and I flew around the street. I did have one outer body experience, and I am furious with it because it was a complete, utter waste of an experience. And I was in my bed, obviously, and there was a man and he was trying to get me. And in my hallucination, I was thrashing and I was desperately trying to get away from this man that was in my room. And can I just explain to you, at that time, it feels incredibly real. You don't, unless you, obviously I've had a lot of experience with sleep paralysis, but you can very easily become terrified. Like, I was scared and I knew it wasn't real, but you don't know that at the time. Or I don't know how I'm trying to explain in the sense that obviously you do know that you are hallucinating if you know what sleep paralysis is. If you don't know what sleep paralysis is, then you won't know. However, this man was in my room, he was trying to get at me, and I was desperately trying to get away, and I threw myself on the floor by his feet. That was my outer body experience. People get to fly. People have flown around their street. People have flown around their room. People have floated. I threw myself at his feet and picked me up, put me back on the bed. Come on now. I wanted to fly. So yeah, so I've had that. I've had, oh, actually one of the worst that I've had was the children with black eyes. So I don't know if any of you are familiar with that whole urban legend, and it's effectively a little bit like vampires. They knock on your door, they're children, they've got black eyes, and you need to invite them in, and if you invite them in, then you're in trouble. So my friend had spoken about them earlier in the day, and which is why I think they then manifested themselves into my hallucination. So I was having a dream, and I remember the dream that I was having, and I remember in the dream that I had been at a nightclub and I'd had my drink spiked, and I could feel the numbness come over me. So I almost, as I was coming around from my dream and as I was waking up, knew that I was about to be in a position where I had sleep paralysis. And I just said to myself, do you know what? Just don't open your eyes. Just don't look. Like, it is so not worth looking. Don't. Of course I did. So I opened my eyes and I was lying on my side, and there was this little blonde-haired, black-eyed boy, I think it was, there. Yeah. And I was like, well, Jesus. Close your eyes, close your eyes. So I closed my eyes, and then I got sensory hallucinations. So I felt like I could feel them, and I could physically feel this. I could feel them scratching me and poking me and shaking me, and it wasn't very nice at all. Well, I mean, it doesn't sound very nice as I explain it, but as I lived it, it was really uncomfortable. It actually was quite painful as well, because I could feel every sensation, every nail that was digging in, every poke, and yeah, it was really not a pleasant experience. And then obviously at some point I then was able to move and the hallucination stopped. So yeah, that's some of them. I'm trying to think of some other ones that I've had. I've had so many. It's honestly, some of them just blur into one. What did I have? Oh, I had this is how with it your mind is, and this is how you know that you're awake. So I had a ghost, like a girl ghost with the whole like typical like dark hair over her face and just unpleasant. And she was screaming so loudly in my ear that my ear popped. And I remember sitting there thinking, well, I wasn't sitting, obviously I was lying, but I remember lying there thinking, great, I'm getting an ear infection and I can't even move to hold my ear. If you've ever had an ear infection, sometimes like holding your ear just helps a little bit. And I just remember thinking, wonderful, great. Not even thinking about the fact that this ghost is screaming in my face. All I'm thinking is, ear infection, can't move, wonderful. So yeah, that's some of my experiences. I do have a lot more. I might do a part 2 at some point, but I've just realised I've been talking to you for so long about my crazy sleep paralysis experiences. So yeah, as always, if you have seen anything a little bit strange in the videos, if you've seen any orbs or any weird camera flashes or movements, please comment, because I don't always see them. Give us a like, give us a follow, give us a comment if you've seen anything a little bit unusual, or just to say hello. Martha and Alice most certainly love any attention that they're getting. But yeah, so take care, and I will speak to you guys soon. Bye bye.